Hey guys, how are you? And welcome back to my channel. This is my second video that I'm going to be doing regarding overcoming alcoholism and becoming a personal trainer. I recently thought about doing a video regarding positivity because a lot of my clients have a hard time kind of getting out of their own head and getting out of a negative mindset. So I thought I would share some of the things that have helped me get through some really hard days that I had, especially during the first 3 months of my recovery. Um, During the first 3 months of my recovery, what ended up happening was I felt extremely angry a lot. I felt like, um, just like, I don't know, because when you become sober, like I had said in my earlier video, um, you are forced to address your demons and your emotional problems, which is why you were using your drug of choice or alcohol to cover up the pain that you have inside. So when you start to become sober and you really tackle it, um, you might feel angry, and that's how I felt. I felt really angry all the time, pissed off. I would be kind of short with my husband, fiance at the time. Not that it was his fault or anything, and like I wasn't that bad to him. Obviously, like I wasn't like abusive or anything, because he is a huge supporter. Sorry, I have like a hair on my face. Um, so long story short, the first 3 months were really really rough, and um, now I've been sober over 2 years, and um, I would say probably by the 1 year mark was when things kind of started coming together. And I know that probably seems like a lot of time. Um, but honestly, when you literally use the tenet of AA of one day at a time, it actually really helps you a lot because when you're first getting sober, you're like, oh my God, I can't drink the rest of my life. And, I can't use this drug anymore. And it seems really overwhelming. You're like, wow, this is like a mountain, right? So the way I look at it is, how do you get to the top of a mountain? One step at a time, right? So one day at a time. So literally, whenever you feel negative or you want to drink or use your drug or whatever, obviously there's other coping mechanisms, but one thing is like positive self-talk. So you literally tell yourself, I just have to get through today. I just have to get through the next 10 minutes. I just have to get through the next hour. Like, just break it down for yourself into smaller bites, and it's going to make your journey a lot easier. It's going to make it a lot more comprehensible versus just looking at the whole problem as a whole, which, as you know, it's a big problem. There's a lot of facets to the problem. There's a lot of reasons why you picked up. There's a lot of, maybe past trauma or abuse like myself. Um, so unpacking all of that, it takes a lot of time. But when you're at the beginning of your journey, it's a lot more constructive and useful to break down the journey into smaller pieces. So by the time like a year rolled around, I was like, wow, like I literally put all those days together to get a year, which is a common thing that people in AA say that have been doing it for, 10, 15, 20 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, whatever, however long it is. They'll always say, and then I pieced together 7 years or I pieced together 10 years, whatever. So that's one thing to help you to get through the obstacle of overcoming alcoholism and addiction. Another thing that really helped me was rephrasing and looking at negatives in a different way. So if something bad were to happen to me, I would, instead of getting pissed off and upset and blaming others, which, we do when we're addicted to a substance, it's not our fault, it's everyone else's fault. So instead, I would look at things and say, okay, this is happening. I can't do anything about it. This is my situation. This is what I have to deal with. So here's how I'm going to look at this as an opportunity. So, for example, one of the bigger things that happened to me that was a real challenge was losing my privilege to drive. So instead of, looking at it like, oh, I fucked up, I'm a piece of shit, look at how fucked up my life is, how am I going to get to work, blah, 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 right? Instead, it's, okay, I have a bike. Work isn't that far. It's about 5 miles or however long it was. And I'm going to look at this as a way to get healthy. So I'm going to ride my bike to work as often as I can and use, other resources as well to save money. And, this is what I have to do. And I'm going to do it. And it's going to be hard at the beginning. But instead of getting mad and discouraged, I'm going to look at this as an opportunity. I'm going to look at this as a way for me to strengthen my legs, to get in some fresh air. And you know what? When I looked at it like that, it really helped me. It helped motivate me because I'm like, yeah, this is good. This is a good way to get healthy. And so could I have, been negative about it and felt bad and brought myself down? Absolutely. It's easy to do that, right? It's easy to get stuck in that mindset, in that rut. But instead, if you look at the challenge and you reframe how you look at the situation, it's going to help you to get through your obstacles. The other thing I want to talk about in terms of obstacles is removing obstacles. So I'll probably do a separate video on this. When we are in a negative situation, including alcoholism, including bad relationships, we make excuses. One of my excuses was, oh, well, I'm an adult and I have a 2-family and I have my own car, and, I pay all my bills so I can do what I want. Validating, right? So we do that with things when things are uncomfortable because we know that, to tackle those problems is going to be really hard. So instead of addressing it and doing what we need to do to be a better person, be a better human, we decide to make up things and validate our behavior. The same thing goes with relationships. If you are not happy, then you need to remove the obstacle. So does that mean that you're going to be uncomfortable? Yeah. Does that mean that you're going to have to probably tackle painful emotions? Yeah. Are you going to be alone? Yeah, you're going to be alone because you're going to break up with that person that is preventing you from growing, right? But when you address it and you tackle it and you overcome it, you become a better person. You become a stronger person. So I'm going to do a separate video about that and how I removed obstacles, because there were quite a few obstacles in order for me to get sober. It wasn't just a positive mindset, because I'll tell you right now, the positive mindset did not happen overnight. Absolutely not. It took, I would say, a solid 6 months of reprogramming my brain. And they say, if you read the book, The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, sorry, I was trying to remember it, he will tell you, and this is also the stages of change, the behavioral change is 6 months. So you have to actively be doing the programming, like the reprogramming of your brain, for 6 months in order to consider a real change. So it is practice. It's practicing every day. It's getting up every day and saying, I'm going to get through this day. I'm going to get through today. And when a negative happens, a negative or uncomfortable experience, it's, okay, that's happening, and here's what I can do. Here's what I can't do. And here's how I'm going to move forward. Versus, dwelling on that negative and being upset about it. So we have a choice. We always have a choice. We have a choice to be negative. We have a choice to be unhappy. We have a choice to surround ourselves with negative individuals, right? There's always a choice. Are they difficult? Yeah. Do they suck? Yeah, they do. They suck a lot. And sometimes they take a lot of time. However, if you continue on the path and you keep doing the work and putting one foot in front of the other, you will get there. It is possible. When you surround yourself with positive people and good resources, and you read and you educate yourself, and you continue to reprogram that mind, you will get there. Do not give yourself the negative talk of, feeling defeated and calling yourself a loser and calling yourself a piece of shit. Because I did that. I did that absolutely. I'm a piece of shit. I'm an alcoholic. Look at this. I lost my license. I don't have any friends. Nobody loves me. Blah, 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 right? And granted, we all have those days. Like, believe me, like, I am not perfect. So please do not assume that, because it's not true at all. I'll give you an example. Like, my birthday was on August 11th, and I had the shittiest day. The fucking shittiest. Like, horrible. Like, I literally had suicidal thoughts. There was something that was said that triggered it, and it's not anybody's fault. It is what it is. But it just kind of set off this downward spiral for that day, and I just couldn't get out of the funk. So yeah, nobody's perfect. We're all human. It happens. However, if the majority of the time that you have, you spend it actively becoming a better person and training yourself, then you will get better. So I'll leave you with that, and next video I will talk about obstacles, and I hope this helped you guys. All right.